Hit me with it.
Go, baby.
High five, Mr. Randy. What's up, guys? We're back. Another episode of What's Cookin' with the McLemore Boys. Today, we're really excited because we're on the road. We've been talking about this for a minute now, is that part of our podcast is in studio and part of our podcast is on the road. We're bringing the podcast to you guys because we're going to be doing some amazing things this year. And one of the things we're doing is we're celebrating America 250.
Let's go.
So we wanted to start off January right by coming down to the beautiful Camp Margaritaville. We've got a very special guest in the house today, Mr. Randy Knapp, a good friend of ours. And we're actually in a very special place because we're staying at Camp Margaritaville. We're going to be seeing some amazing RVs this week at the Super Show in Tampa. But we're in a Speakeasy. And Mr. Randy, we're going to introduce you here in a second. But, Dad, I want you to tell everybody how we actually met Randy 5 or 6 years ago.
Wow. So it was actually we thought it was 5 years ago, but it was actually 6 years ago in 2020. We had just gotten a brand new bus, and Tanya and I stayed in it one time. John and I loaded up the second week that we had it. We come down here to the Tampa RV show, which we're doing again this week. Mm. And while we're at the show, we meet our guests that we're going to talk about in a minute. And as we're sitting there, Randy says, "Hey guys, where are y'all staying?" And I tell Randy that we're staying at XYZ campground. And he said, "Well, I have two questions for you. I'm confused, but two questions. One, did you lock it? Two, do you have a gun in it?" And I was like, yes and yes. And he's like, "Why are you staying there?" And I was like, "Man, we just went online and found this place." He said, he pulls his cell phone out, calls at the time Cabana Club.
Correct.
And says, "Hey, do we have an extra spot? Y'all were brand new, opening up." He says, "You guys get back to your RV, come to Auburndale, and we've got you a spot." We do. And 6 years later, it's been an amazing friendship. So thank you for that. And as we get into introducing this guy, I got one other thing. This behind us is not a green screen. This is the man's Speakeasy.
Yeah.
We were going to do it at Camp Margaritaville and was like, you know what?
This was last night we decided to do this here.
And we have got to get to Randy's Speakeasy. So we have invaded his private space. Thank you. And it has been a great day, catching up on a lot of things for the last 6 years. But John, let's get this guy introduced.
So, Mr. Randy Knapp, are you from Auburn or
Lakeland?
Lakeland.
No, grew up in Auburndale.
Grew up in Auburndale.
Born in Michigan, but moved here when I was 10.
Are you a Michigan fan?
I am. But Florida fan first.
Okay.
Florida fan first. Fifth grade is where I started.
Okay.
In Florida.
So
Florida's home.
Mr. Randy, it's 5 or 6 years?
6.
6
years.
Randy is a business owner, multiple businesses, family business for almost 40 years, correct? Collects cars. I have on here, it says you're an Elvis impersonator.
Elvis fan, not an impersonator.
I'm so disappointed.
And there's an alligator hunting story in here somewhere. You're an alligator hunting expert?
Not novice, new. Very new.
I heard you got some friends that will laugh.
Shamed me.
Okay.
He has Dos Equis in his refrigerator because he is definitely the most interesting man that we know.
So we're here at your Speakeasy. You're a car collector, NASCAR fan, which we're going to get into some NASCAR stories in a second. But again, guys, we're on the roads. We're here in your Speakeasy. I want you to start with just real quick because we got some B-roll we're going to be showing you guys of the Speakeasy and all the cars. What was the inspiration behind the Speakeasy? Why did you do this?
It was NASCAR, my love of NASCAR.
Okay.
That kind of inspired me. I didn't really have a plan. In fact, where we're sitting was supposed to be a carport. And again, I got shamed by a buddy of mine into closing it in. And I thought, well, I'm going to have extra room.
I'd hate to see this place if you had a plan.
Right. There wasn't.
Holy mackerel.
This came from just kind of ideas that came to my head.
My God.
And I had help with, family and friends that influenced me.
Okay. And because you've got the garage doors painted, one's brick, one's got
A 1940 Ford Coupe
1940 Ford Coupe.
Incredible.
some moonshine being loaded into it. But the origins of NASCAR were, a lot of the drivers ran moonshine, and
actually
Junior Johnson in particular.
I knew that part. I didn't know that the origination of NASCAR was moonshine.
Well, kind of, sort of. I mean, not
literally, but
but that's kind of what I thought. Those guys ran those cars, and I had room to do this, so we kind of did this with a speakeasy moonshine theme.
So, real quick, like you got a couple cars in here. One specifically is it a replica of JFK's the car he was in?
It's a '66 convertible.
Okay,
just their standard convertible, but neat story behind it. A shipbuilder in Wisconsin bought it brand new. I have the window sticker.
What?
Never got to meet him. Unfortunately, he passed, but he was a real example for that town. He employed a lot of the town and used that car in a lot of the parades, and I was fortunate to be in the right place at the right time. Yeah. The widow had gotten with the museum, and they made me aware of it, and I was able to get it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. What's your favorite car in here? So, like,
it's hard to pick. I'm a Jeep fan, big Jeep fan, but I like old Cadillacs. Luckily, I didn't fall in love with expensive cars, so it allowed me to get a few more. And the Jeeps and the Cadillacs, and that Lincoln. But
so you're a Chrysler fan?
I like Chrysler too. I don't have any. Well, no, I don't have any. Mine were Kaiser. I got one, I guess, coming. It was AMC.
Okay.
So I did ask him that question earlier as we were walking around, and you'll see some of the amazing things in the speakeasy. I was like, what is your favorite car? And he's like, I'm having a hard time with that. And I said, so what's your least favorite car?
Right.
So you might not want to say that, but.
Well, I like it a lot. Okay. It was restored, and it's Jeep. It's a 50 Willys Jeepster. Beautiful. But I was able to get, I didn't know it at the time when I got the 50 that Jimmy Buffett's 1948 was going to become available. And the corporate offices called me and said, we know you like cars and we want to keep it in the family. Would you be interested? And 10 minutes later, we made the deal and it's here. So I don't need two of them.
Speaking of Jimmy Buffett, I heard you had his golf cart.
I do. I have both of his concert golf carts.
His original.
Like the one I have. If you YouTube him on his golf cart at a concert, it's the one that's at Margaritaville in the reservation area.
Yeah.
And
I have
a second one. I have the second one here in the box.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So speaking of Camp Margaritaville, originally when we first met you, it was Cabana Club.
Correct.
Which was a family business because you're 38 years of family business with your sister and your family was, I don't want to say this wrong, mobile homes?
Yeah, manufactured houses.
Manufactured houses.
Yes.
Okay. That's a redneck hillbilly talking to me maybe a little bit from Georgia. But manufactured houses.
We were double wide and triple wide.
They were trailers.
They were trailers.
Trailers.
Yeah.
You know the difference in quality? You just put a skirt around it behind the wheels. So as y'all had that, well, then you got into, you had this idea. Y'all had, is it Family Land, which was a blueberry?
Yes.
Was that Family Land?
Well, we had acquired that in 2011 from a family that had it. I think they missed 100 years by 5 years.
Okay. And it was a blueberry farm.
It was nursery.
That would be 95 years.
And we started the blueberry farm. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it was blueberry nursery.
No, it was ornamental nursery. We converted it to blueberry.
Yeah. And y'all had a blueberry farm.
Correct.
On there. And then what made y'all go from a blueberry farm to an RV resort?
A fire.
Fire.
No, we had a packing facility. We packed for 7 other growers.
Which is where the big event center is.
Correct.
Okay.
And it was a mishap, a battery tender that was on a boat, and that tender.
Yeah.
There was a battery. I guess what happened was the battery was wired backwards somehow from the dealer or the previous owner, and it was enough to create a spark. Spark caused the fire. Wow. Fire caused an explosion, and it was about a 4-year, deal to get that done. But it destroyed the building.
Wow!
So we had to take most of the building down, and we just decided at that time, the trending was starting to turn, and prices weren't where they had been. Yeah. We were next to a sports park, And my oldest sister, she said, I like working together. We had a nice offer to sell it
Really?
for logistics, and we chose not to. We
Well, 'cause
sold the
y'all-
south end
I
of
was
the
gonna
farm
say,
for that.
you sold part of that land, right, to a facility for logistics.
2 facilities.
Yeah. And then y'all had the bright idea of making a campground, essentially, that kind of, I think, kind of turned into, well, let's make it a luxury RV resort, right?
Correct.
And it's literally next door to a water sports park.
Water,
which is,
baseball, Florida's Federation of Youth Soccer.
Yeah.
125,000 or so kids, 20,000 coaches. It's the Florida facility for youth soccer. They're there. Their headquarters is there. Russ Matt Baseball.
Okay.
It's the largest collegiate baseball tournament in the nation. It's held there. It's probably, I'm guessing, but a $35 to $40 million economic impact for our area.
wow.
And then the 2 logistics facilities, basically in 1 year, from a business perspective, we land used it, did all the entitlement work, built the spine road, to access, build a traffic light there,
Yep.
sidewalks, utility extensions, and got it ready for that. But it went from, and we love farming, but it went from $22,000 a year in ag, green,
Yep.
ad valorem tax to 2.1 million in 1 year.
Jesus.
And it's an employment center that created somewhere around 500 jobs.
That's
in
amazing.
their business plan. So
Yeah.
it was good.
Yeah, what's crazy about Randy and your entire family is we share a lot of, commonality in our family and y'all's family. Our values align. 50 years with our family business. The fact that y'all lost your facility in a fire, we've experienced that through the Masterbuilt days with devastating fires. And what's interesting through that is you at that particular moment, you see this as kind of a tragedy happening and how are we going to get through it and how devastating it is to survive it, to just realize that it's just turning the page in another chapter, to look at where you guys are now, from a blueberry farm to the #1 RV resort in the United States.
Yeah, we're very proud of that. Back
It
to
is.
back, 2 years.
Back to back 2 years.
Voted by the
That's-
customer.
I was going to say that's like voted by people. That's not
Voted by the customer.
a
Yeah.
government facility. Or
I
a
think you
government
won by
organization.
one vote, and that was mine and Tanya's.
I bet it was. I bet it was.
Because we did vote.
That would be 2 votes.
Two. No, Tanya did it. It's like, make sure you vote.
So you guys were voted #1 RV resort in America 2 years in a row
Through USA Today. Yeah.
through USA Today. And I remember talking about this probably last year, earlier this past year, that we were kind of asking, like, what are the joys and horrors, right, of owning an RV resort? Because it's every business is good and bad.
Yeah.
And you obviously got to love your good days more than your bad days. But you were saying how much joy you guys got out of seeing the employees celebrate the awards that y'all have been able to accumulate.
Yes, very much. This in all the properties we've ever done, never seen one achieve awards like this. It's the team that we put together. It's the customer base, and between the team and creating great positions for them.
Yeah.
And then the customers, I think a lot of them know they're making memories, but a lot of them don't.
Right.
And it's super rewarding having RV as a young person. We had 2 summers that I can recall where we traveled cross country with our grandparents and our parents and siblings. And you look back and reflect back on that and you say, that's our favorite times.
Yep.
So you see that happening now.
Yeah.
And these families, and the kids meet other kids really quick, and it's kind of cool seeing friendships made. They didn't even know each other, a month ago, and now they're planning vacations together.
Yep.
Because the kids had such a good time.
Yeah.
And it's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was Cabana Club, which was y'all's family. I don't know, where did Cabana Club come from? Just
I think it was Peggy. I think we all put names in a hat, and she's the one that picked. She does all our decor.
Yeah.
She picks colors. I mean, and she'll ask us, what's the theme? What are we kind of looking for? And we said, something tropical. And she just does it.
Wow.
Yeah. And so Cabana Club then became Camp Margaritaville.
Correct.
Because y'all brought in, so y'all still own it, but you licensed Camp Margaritaville, correct?
Correct.
And I think there was 5, and they're opening a few more across the country.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's been, 2 or 3 years?
That's been, let's see, we were Cabana Club 1 year. We opened on February 1st, and the following January the 18th, so it was 2021, so 2022.
5 years.
Yeah, we branded in 2022, January the 18th.
Wow. And it's funny because when we sold Masterbuilt and we're kind of starting the McLemore Boys, they were fantastic friends, mentors, because we were in the planning process of opening an RV resort in Hamilton where we live.
Yeah.
And
Tanya still wants to do that.
You guys talked us out of it. I'm just kidding. No, and we ended up just not going through with that project, but it was really cool to learn a lot about the RV industry.
Yes.
And how it's ebbed and flowed, how COVID impacted it. But it's obviously a growing industry, but the memories we talked about, how people, the memories, and we personally camp. I mean, you've had a personal camper since I was a kid. I've had a camper since I could almost drive.
Yeah, we've been doing it for a very long time. And what I love about this particular stop here at your resort is, as we're celebrating America's 250, it's fitting to be right here.
Yeah.
We're going to be coming back pretty soon for some barbecue festivals.
Yeah.
So
We got Pig Fest coming up. Yeah.
Pig
That's
Fest right
excellent.
around the corner. Yeah.
Well, we've got, going back to that fire that happened that night when I was the last one to leave. You have no idea that's about to happen, and when it does, you can't sit on the back of the boat and not do anything. You got to be progressive, and we had these options laid out, and with a leap of faith.
Yeah.
I think in hindsight, the good Lord, had a purpose, and we had a wonderful city manager.
Yeah.
He asked us not to put more logistics, even though the middle group, that's who wanted it.
Yeah.
They had put 811,000 square feet, and this was a CRA. This was a community redevelopment area that was a bit seedy at the time.
Yeah.
And the connection to the new parkway, and then just our style of development, we always try to do our best to do things right and do something that fits the community the best that we can do. And Margaritaville has just been a wonderful brand.
Yeah.
And they came to us through a mutual contact that heard about a property we were acquiring and permitting in Volusia County on the St. Johns River. And I said, well, the best thing I think to do is have them come over, because we're literally ready to open Cabana Club. And instead of going down a rabbit hole designing and engineering the wrong product, let's let them give us feedback on what we've done here, and then we can make adjustments if it's something that makes sense for both of us. So I don't think the president of development was on our site 15 minutes. He said, who did this? And I said, our family. We've all just worked together. There's 9 of us, and cousins and siblings, and everybody has a part and pulls their weight and gives their input. And we would do a weekly meeting, religiously, to go through, what we did. We've got Lori and Bill, our in-house campers. Our uncle, who you all didn't meet, he was him and my aunt were avid RVs all their lives, and he knew about what we were doing. He was part of not doing the logistics continuation.
Really?
He was one of the 3 managing partners with my sister Lori and I, and he never got to see it come out of the ground.
Wow.
So he missed that part. But Lori and Bill's perspective and his perspective, and then our style of talking to the customer. We had an uncle on my mother's side that has he sold it now, but a 45-foot Tiffin. And we called him as soon as we had the stabilization on the roads and said, can you come out here? We need you to let's get the angle, the turning angle, because I think we've made a lot of, if you look at the percentage of people that don't know how to drive them, it's high. very high. Like
It's very high.
I've heard 70%. So the easier you can make it
Yeah.
and not sacrifice lots. So
yeah.
we got the angle right. We got the pad widths right. We got the lengths right.
You got the leveling right. Everything about it is
Right.
just an amazing experience.
It's amazing that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's amazing that you got to have a CDL license to drive an 18-wheeler, but an 85-year-old can go buy a 45-foot bus and drive it down the road 80 miles an hour.
Yeah. I had a guy tell me, I mean, this guy to look at him, you'd have thought he could back anything cross country. He said, I can't back. I won't say what he said, but I can't back, worth a nickel with a little stronger language. And he said, you guys have made me look like a hero. Because he said, it's always an audience.
Yeah.
And I backed in, and the way that you set these roads up and the lots up.
Oh, yeah. Of a good photo that we had in one of our relatives' camper is the husband had a sign in there that says, I apologize to my wife in advance when I back up the camper.
And, a lot of ours are drive-through, so you don't ever have to back up.
Yeah.
You just pull through. And when we opened, we were one of the few where if you were pulling a tow vehicle or a trailer, you could pretty much pull it onto your site and still fit.
There was an 80-footer in one of your sites, because some of your sites are like 100 feet long.
103.
103 feet long. So it's pretty cool to see all this.
Yeah.
Well, so speaking of RV industry and that community as a whole, I'm going to talk real quick about your love of Elvis.
Ooh.
Because I heard that you talked to Elvis's brother on the phone.
I did.
Can I show the photo?
Sure. Go ahead.
All right. So I just needed to ask, is this you with Elvis?
Let me see. No, that's Johnny
So
Cash.
Johnny Cash.
That's Johnny Cash.
I was like, that's Randy.
Who signed it?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to turn that to where you can see it right that way.
Yep, there you go.
There it is. I got a thumbs up. This is a picture of Elvis and the Johnny Cash.
And they both signed it?
They both signed it.
Yeah, and what's interesting is this is just one photo of what this man has in this. Speakeasy is absolutely amazing.
Tell
the
me-
stories that are through here. So.
Tell me the story of you talking to Elvis's brother.
Well, I was not a diehard fan, except what really kind of hooked me. Besides the music, I liked his movies, but he liked Cadillacs, and I liked
You
Cadillacs.
liked Elvis's movies, but not his music.
I liked his music too. I mean, I liked everything about it. But I
man
just
was the worst actor
no.
ever.
I took it all. I took it all in, and I liked his cars, and
He had some cars.
I remember where I was at when it came on the radio. I was driving my mother's station wagon,
Yep.
and couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
That he had passed, and I guess I didn't know I knew that much about him until I was recently. Lori and I were meeting a big national developer that's a huge Elvis fan.
Wow.
And I pulled into a parking lot. We were meeting him at a restaurant in Orlando in Celebration.
Okay.
Or Champions Gate.
Okay.
And Lori called me, told me she was going to be late. And I said, well, he's here. And she goes, how do you know? I said, because he's the only guy I know that would drive a 2-door Rolls Royce with a purple interior in it. And I said, it's got to be, he's here. So I go in, sit down, and somehow I start talking about the car.
Knowing you, that does not surprise me.
And he said, well, I'm a big Elvis fan, and the radio station does not turn off of Elvis, satellite radio. I said, really? So we just started back and forth. Lori gets there, and I would tell him, a story or something that I knew, and he'd say, I didn't know that. And and so it just kept on, and he says, hang on just a minute. He dialed the phone, and he got a voice recorder, and he said, David, this is who it was. And he said, I'm with some friends down here in Florida. He said, you get this message, give me a call. I may still be with them. So he just hung up the phone. Mm-hmm. We kept talking, and it was maybe 30 minutes. The phone rings, and he said, oh, thanks for calling me back. He said, I'm still here with them. He said, listen, he said, I feel like I'm the biggest Elvis fan in the world, but Randy's telling me stories I never knew. So he said, I want you to say hello to him. Actually, I got to go to the bathroom. So he said, I'm going to hand you the phone. You talk to him. So he said, Randy, this is David. This is Elvis's stepbrother. And
wow.
I was blown away.
Wow.
You know, to talk to
Actually
him.
get to talk to him.
Yeah. So it was really cool. But we were there 7 hours in that booth. And most of it was telling Elvis stories. And we went there to talk about development and growing the Margaritaville brand.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me though about you, because you are one amazing storytelling person. And they're
we were
cool
gonna-
stories.
You've met your match, Dad.
We've not done it yet, but part of that story, we were going to end up telling Elvis stories in Las Vegas at the used to be the Las Vegas Hilton where he was at.
Yeah.
Now it's Westgate's
Yeah.
hotel.
All right, so I wanted to jump into love of NASCAR before we get to some Daytona stories. You're a Jeff Gordon fan, which means on your painted floor out there, you got Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt in the back. Yeah.
We got a little piece of Daytona painted on the floor, the track in the tri-oval. And the artist asked me, I said, well, I was big Bobby and Donnie Allison.
Yeah.
And it was a natural to be Davey.
Davey.
And he said, well, who's, some of your modern? I said, Jeff Gordon and now Chase Elliott.
Yeah.
And I said, in fact, and I gave him 5 photographs.
That's why 9
over
is in
my,
front.
Yeah.
over my whole span of watching NASCAR. And it was funny, but the guy doing my landscape and my sod, I told him that this artist was working on the floor.
Yeah.
He said, well, you better get in there so you can tell him what to do. I said, you don't ever tell an artist what to do. I mean, he asked me for some ideas, but he said, you're going to let him do that whole floor and not. I said, yeah, I'll be surprised. He goes, what if you don't like it? I said, well, it is what it is. I mean, I just gave him what I liked. So loved it when he got done. So he had painted a piece of the tri-oval and he put my modern guys, Chase,
in front.
and I was a big fan of his dad, Bill, and then Jeff, and then Bobby, and Davey, Allison.
Awesome
And
Bill
Richard
from
Petty.
Dawsonville, baby.
Yeah, and Richard Petty. I was there the day that Richard Petty won in front of President Reagan. I was sitting a few feet. There was glass separating us.
Yeah, sure.
President Reagan was right behind me. And I said, but I always respected Dale Sr.,
Yeah.
but I didn't pull for him. So I said, put him last. So my friends, my dad, my brother-in-law, all of them were.
This
were
story
fans.
is for you, RC.
Yeah.
Well,
We love you.
This one friend of mine, he's really quick-witted. Whole family was Earnhardt fans. I thought for sure he would say, no, he's just lapping them.
Yeah.
It stunned him to where I'd never seen him not have a comeback, but he had no comeback for that.
Wow.
When I showed him, with everybody painted in their position.
So speaking of Davey Allison, because we sponsored or had
so
Masterbuilt on.
Davey basically endorsed all of our products at Masterbuilt. So we spent, I don't know, at least maybe 3 years doing a stint with him. And when Davey was killed in the helicopter crash in Talladega, we were in full swing, probably in our 3rd year. So it was just devastating to the whole NASCAR community. Obviously, he was the most beloved driver. I think Billy Elliott was #1 or most favorite driver for a decade.
Yeah,
and then
years.
Davey Allison, year after year after year. And then Dale Jr.
Yes.
So there's just this, there was something about Davey Allison that was just lovable. Hueytown, Alabama, we'd been to his house, cooked for his family. So when we lost Davey, it was just crushing.
For me too. I called the hospital. I mean, I was on the phone trying to figure out what,
we were
is
at
he
the
okay?
hospital when we got there.
You went to the hospital?
Oh yeah, when we got there, all the media, it was insane. What everybody was just really trying to understand.
Yeah.
Red Farmer, do you remember Red Farmer?
I do.
Was in the helicopter with Davey, and Red Farmer, that was his 7th helicopter crash he had survived.
I did not know that.
7th
Oh my gosh.
helicopter crash. And Davey, they hit a fence landing on the infield. Just tragic. But what an amazing driver, amazing person.
So one of your highlights of your racing career was playing golf with Davey
We were playing golf in Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama. And when we were getting in the golf cart, I was like, I'm driving. Dave was like, I don't care. So I got to a particular spot going down a hill, and Davey Allison himself said, you got to slow down. You're scaring me. I promise you. Oh, yeah. It was very intentional. I was doing everything but turning that thing over to make him tell me to slow down.
You're the guy we don't want in a golf cart at Margaritaville.
That's right. That's a whole nother story.
The last time we were there, somebody got ran over.
So for me, that our whole entire life, meeting folks like y'all, your family, being able to be a part of Davey Allison in his career now with Richard Childress and RCR and their team, we pinch ourselves all the time to be able to be sitting in a forum like this, a speakeasy like this, interviewing somebody like you that's not only a friend, but just, John said it earlier, kind of a mentor to us and so many assets to what you've done that we really pull from. So that's
very kind of you to say. It's been a family effort and a great ride.
Speaking of family, 50 years in business, in a family business. You've been 50 years, give or take. So how easy is it to run a family business?
It's not hard when you've got a family like I've got. They do what needs to be done. And there's no one in the group that says it's not my job.
Yep. That's what it takes.
It's a collective effort.
Yep.
They look to the managing partners to lead, and we do our best, to do that.
Yeah.
So
communication. I mean, that's big for us,
and we do that.
Yeah, and you can't argue about money.
Yeah.
It's part of running a business, but we
That's right. Just don't make any. It's
That's
easy
right.
not to argue about it.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
So we're gonna jump to some road tales because we were just talking about Davey Allison, Bobby Allison, NASCAR. And
I got to tell you something funny. This is crazy how this started. I said earlier we were on a farm, family farm, Centennial Farm.
Yeah.
It had been owned by the family for over 100 years, so it was a big deal for my dad to make the decision to break that tradition and sell. But it was at a time when the old Centennial Farms were small tracts, automation had occurred, and he was literally renting. It was mainly widow ladies that stayed in the farmhouse, and it was some family aunts that could stay there, and they would lease their ground. So back then, there weren't all the child on a farm. You did whatever needed to be done. You didn't have the child, all those rules.
I experienced that same child labor problem.
Yeah.
With my dad.
So if it was tractors or whatever, we ran them. And he always was good at showing us how to do it.
Yeah.
And we loved it. So anyway, when we moved to Florida and got in the development business, I didn't have to have a driver's license to drive on property we were working on because I wasn't on the public road. Yeah. So he had an old dump truck, and I would drive that truck. He'd load me, and I'd drive, and it was the weekends, because I wasn't in school. And I had one radio station that was WGTO, Cypress Gardens, and it was flag-to-flag coverage MRN. And I was probably 12 when NASCAR, when they hit me. That's when I fell in love with it.
And you've been to Daytona 49 years in a row?
This will be my 49th.
So this
consecutive, never missed.
Consecutive, never missed. And you said since you were 12?
No, I have to think of what year. I don't remember what year it was.
Well, 49
I started going
minus how old you are.
Yeah, that's a long time. Let me think.
But fall and spring, right? You go
both.
You go to fall and
summer
spring.
And
Do you want people to know how old you are? Because I can do the math.
No.
Yeah,
I don't mind.
I think you were 2.
Yeah,
Been there 49 years.
Yeah. So. I wish that was it. No, a little older than that.
For someone
been in late teens.
Yeah.
For someone who's been at Daytona, been 2 Daytona races, 49 years in a row, which is almost 100 races, what is your most memorable Daytona 500?
There's several. Well, the first one was the day I was sitting, and we were down in De Palma toward turn 4. And on this moment, this wasn't the first one I've been to, but I saw the Air Force One come in.
Yeah.
And I never thought about what was about to happen, but all of a sudden I see the car that follows, the presidential limousine, and I'm thinking, they're coming over here. Well, that was way before 9/11. This would have been 84.
Yeah.
I think he was kicking off his second campaign. So I jumped out of my seat. I didn't tell anybody where I was going. I jumped out of my seat and I ran down towards start finish, and they had these black fences lined up. They had a little bitty metal detector. I mean, it was nothing. I mean, I had stuff in my pockets. I got right through. And I got to right where that limo pulled up, and he got out, and he had this summer-looking sport coat on and waved. He was probably, 20 feet from me. And then they had the hallway where he was going up to then the press boxes and the boxes were little. I mean, it was, back then, Daytona didn't have much in the way of glassed-in area. So I went back to my seats, and I got into the Campbell box area, and you know what? I'm wrong. I wasn't De Palma. I was in Campbell box then. And he was actually right behind me.
Okay.
I was like in row 11 of 12 rows, and he was just kind of behind me. That was very memorable.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think Richard Petty won it that year.
Yeah.
And then second most memorable is the tragedy.
Yeah.
I was there. I had Dale Sr. on my scanner probably 15 seconds before he was killed, talking. And it was pretty colorful. I mean, he was basically telling his two guys, pick a line. He was telling the crew chiefs, tell them, pick a line.
Yeah.
And then that happened, and you still didn't know.
At that moment.
I didn't know. I had no,
didn't seem that bad.
accident. I was at the start-finish line. It didn't seem that bad. In fact, there was people next to me. I think they were from Wisconsin. I said, if you want to hear a colorful display, but I'm telling you, it's going to be some strong language, put my headphones on. And they said, we don't hear anything. And I thought I had bumped the squelch or the volume.
Oh, wow.
So I put them back on, and I'm messing with it. And pretty soon I said, I heard Junior call. He said, this is, Junior or JR. Anybody heard from my dad? And they said, no. And they're calling him. Richard, this is calling, and it's, let us know, that everything's okay. And then Richard Childress came on. Yeah. And first thing he said is, my recollection was, Teresa, are you on here? And she said, yes, I'm at the motorhome. And she said, we're going to go down and follow the ambulance to the infield care center. And so you're watching Michael Waltrip, celebrate the win. And then I see Junior running toward the accident down pit road, and still don't know. And we end up leaving. The friends of mine that were there.
Was it Morgan Shepherd that got to his window first? The driver?
No.
No, it was his
Kenny Schrader.
Kenny Schrader. He
That's
wrecked.
right. That's right.
So, but we didn't see that in the stands. They didn't have all the jumbotrons and everything.
No, Kenny Schrader was the first person that realized we got a problem.
Yeah.
This is serious.
Yes.
Yeah.
I knew we had an attorney at the time, a real estate attorney that was on the board, he still is, I think, on ISC, and he told me a little bit afterwards about him and Mr. France sat down in that section. They knew pretty quickly, but I was on the road. I was going to look at a piece of real estate up in northern Flagler County, and I was on the road. Travis, was on the road, and my brother called. He said, I think this is really bad. I said, I don't think so. I said, I think he just tapped the wall. I don't think it's that bad. He said, no, well, that's not the way they're talking on the news. And so I don't think it was 15 minutes later, he called me. He said, he died.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. We couldn't believe it.
No.
And we saw it.
I remember coming home from church, because we would always watch NASCAR races on Sundays, and it happening, and then, however long later, it was just like, you remember those moments when, Earnhardt,
Princess Diana,
Kobe Bryant,
Davey,
Yes.
You remember the space shuttle,
Yes.
tragedy. There's just certain things.
I kind of sort of got to meet him. We had a suite. We shared a suite in Bristol, and we were about 5 doors down from the press box, and we had been there enough times that I knew the pattern, how they'd walk, and we were between the elevators and the press box, and they always had the winner come up. It was the year, I think it was 99, he bumped Terry Labonte on the last lap, and there were people throwing beer cans and everything they could over the fence at him. And I told Marty, my brother, I said, let's go down, follow me. We can go down to the press box. So we go down there. I got Florida Gator stuff on, and we're standing there in the hallway like we were somebody. And out walks Richard Childress, Dale, and Teresa. And I said, just fall in line. And Marty didn't do it. He stood back. It was Richard, Dale, Teresa, and me, and security guards and police front and back. And I walked with them all the way to the elevator. And Teresa said, "Do you want to get a picture of Dale?" You know, and I said, "I'd love to."
Yeah.
He was on the phone with their daughter, and they were by the elevator door. And I've got the picture. I never got it. I should have gotten it signed.
Wow.
But she said, Dale, you know, look at the camera. And he's talking on the phone. He looked at the camera and smiled, and I got the picture.
He actually smiled in a picture.
He did. It was a good picture. So, you know, that was a memorable moment.
Memorable
and then another one there was Rusty Wallace one year. And I liked him, but I wasn't a follower of the number 2 car.
The Miller car.
We met him in the hallway, and he was very gracious.
Wow.
Yeah. So Tanya and I are at a race. Speaking of you getting a successful photograph with Earnhardt, Tanya and I are at, I think it was Bristol Motor Speedway on the infield, and Gordon was a rookie. Mm-hmm. And back then, that was a long time ago. We didn't have cell phones like we do now and all these fancy cameras. We had one of those wind up, had the film in it. We get a picture with Gordon, and they take the thing, and we were out of film.
No way. I got something similar. When Davey was killed, I said, well, I got to stay on the Yates team. So I followed Ernie Irvin. And then Ernie got the bad accident.
Very bad.
Very bad.
Yeah.
And I ran into
Swerving Irvin.
I was at the American Quarter Horse Congress with my dad.
Yeah.
And ran into a guy named Tim that represented Featherlight. And we struck up a conversation, and I said, I'm here with my dad. He loves the quarter horses, and I'm a NASCAR fan, so I'm familiar with your trailers. He said, who's your driver? I said, Ernie Irvin. He said, he's a personal friend. And I said, are you kidding? I said, how is he doing? Because the car got covered up, instantly after the wreck.
Was he driving for Cale Yarborough?
Yates.
Oh, he was Yates at the time.
He was Yates.
So that's right, because it was Davey for Robert Yates, and then Ernie stepped in and drove for a while, because Ernie actually drove for Cale Yarborough for a little while. Because we went from after Davey, we did about 3 years with Cale Yarborough Motorsports. We had Jeremy Mayfield, or they said, Jeremy may not make the field.
Right,
was his driver.
Right.
And Cale, before Dale, it was Cale. Cale Yarborough was something else in a car. And he had a photo in his office when we were working with him of he was on the back straightaway, and I think it was Reagan was landing Air Force One with his car. So it's Air Force One and his car is the only car on the track because they were qualifying.
Right.
Or practicing or something.
Yeah.
Iconic photo.
Yeah. Great photo.
Yeah.
Great photo. We got a local driver. I don't know if you remember him, Rick Wilson. Rick, he's the current county commissioner, but he ran NASCAR.
Really?
Yeah. Great guy.
Yeah.
But Ernie, I followed Ernie, and then when Tim said, Randy, he's not going to be back. He said his eye is really
messed up.
Yeah, and he didn't go into a lot of detail, but he just said he's not. I don't think.
Right.
And he tried, but it was a vision, I guess, issue.
So
I said I got to get off the Yates team. I gotta make a switch.
Yeah.
So and there was nothing about Dale Jarrett that I didn't like.
Right.
But I just said want to make the switch. So
Getting off of Robert Yates' team.
I was watching the end of the year channel surfing one night and just happened across the banquet awards that was at the New York, the Waldorf. And
Championship.
yeah,
awards.
championship awards. So this rookie driver was on stage. I never thought about pulling for a rookie. I was in it, you know, so I'm not going to pull for a rookie.
Right.
And this guy he's thanking Dale and giving him just accolades. And I said, you know, I kind of like what he has to say. I might pull
He
for
sounded
him.
like he was 12.
Yeah, and his name was Jeff Gordon. So
Yeah, guys,
and I met him.
If I meet you, Jeff, one day, I do love you.
Yeah, I met him. A great friend of mine that is Career Publix headquarters.
Yeah.
His wife works at the Lakeland Airport. She sells aircraft insurance.
Yeah.
And she was very pregnant. And she said, just want to let you know, Jeff is out here. They're filming a commercial at the Lakeland Speedway. And I said, how do you know? And she said, Randy, the tail numbers on his plane have 24 JG, in it. So I'm like, you're kidding, So I went out there and she said, I got my camera, but when I leave, I got to take it with me because I could end up going to the hospital anytime to have their baby. And he's now grown, graduated from college, and works for Publix. It's not been that long ago. So I'm there. I'm ready. I'm the only one there. I'm going to get a picture. I'm going to talk to him. And Wendy comes in and says, I got to go. I got to take my camera. So she takes the camera. We didn't have a cell phone, So I'm thinking nobody's going to. And 10 minutes or less after she takes the camera, in he walks.
Wow.
So I say hello and tell him I'm a fan. And it was the week, I'm going to say a week or two later is when he announced the divorce. So from a time frame standpoint, it was then. So she calls me the next day and said, they're back. They're filming again if you want to come back out. So I went back out and she gave me her camera again. And this time I said, Jeff, I'm not a stalker. I didn't have a camera yesterday.
Stalking.
Yeah, I didn't have a camera yesterday. And nobody would have believed me.
Yeah.
So he was very nice.
Yeah.
And take pictures.
He gave you a picture.
Yeah.
He won 3 championships?
I think Jeff won 4.
4.
Okay.
Yeah.
So speaking of NASCAR and someone who's been at almost 49 Daytonas, what's your favorite track?
Daytona.
For sure, Daytona.
For sure. I like Daytona. It's mind-blowing when you look back at old video. And I was there and I saw the track and I saw the evolution of what it looked like back then to what it looks like now. And this attorney that I mentioned, he told me, because I was telling him I'm definitely a bigger fan than you. And he said, no, I don't think so. And I said, yeah, I think I am. And anyway, he said, Jim's my best friend, so he won that contest. But, that was back in the day when they counted money in shoe boxes and cigar boxes and paid the drivers. And some of the rich history that you would never learn unless it was somebody inside. And he was very instrumental in getting the lighting on the track. But Daytona and then Bristol and Martinsville
are your favorite?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you know why, or how much Daytona cost to build when they first built it?
No, but I know we bid on a project when I had a fabrication business, and they were doing a $400 million renovation.
Yeah.
I think it was less than that
$3 million
to build it.
Do you know why Lake Lloyd exists?
They probably needed the dirt for the banking. I don't know.
No, Daytona Beach, where it's built, is below the water table. They dug Lake Lloyd to raise the elevation of the track so it wouldn't sit below the water table.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Boom. Daytona NASCAR knowledge.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
And I don't have that in my notes. I just remember that from a Fox segment that we did a couple years ago.
Funny.
But yeah, they've renovated a few times. You know how many people can fit
in Daytona?
Yeah.
I've been there when the crowd's over 100.
It used to be 250 or 225.
Okay.
They reduced the back straightaway because
I sat there one year.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked it, but It was the year that Sterling
it's-
Marlin got out of the car and tried to fix his fender in a car.
Yeah.
That was that year. I was sitting on the back.
I think it's 125 now, if I'm not mistaken. But
It's around the corner. It's
Yeah.
coming.
so speaking of racing, I heard you had a Popcorn Sutton story,
I do.
which is a moonshine.
Moonshine, yeah. Which is how his cousin made that still over there.
And
these,
who is
just
Popcorn
for the
Sutton?
record, these stills, I don't operate them. They work, but I don't operate them. They're
So
So
promoted.
that's been water I've been drinking
Yeah, it's
the
been
whole
water.
time.
It's been water.
Who is Popcorn Sutton? I was told to ask a Popcorn Sutton.
He's an iconic moonshiner.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I don't know, but I'm speculating the laws were probably tougher a few years back, and he got caught with some aspect of moonshining, was jailed. This is the story I was told.
Okay.
And I've not verified it. So
Yeah.
I think I'm on it. But anyway, he was jailed.
For you fact checkers out there.
Yeah, for you fact checkers. So anyway, what I was told is he served his time, got out, and I think he was driving through Maggie Valley,
Yeah.
that area, and got pulled over, and kind of a routine stop. And I believe he might have had a weapon on him.
Oh.
And they said,
It may not have been routine.
you're going to go back to jail. And he said, no, I'm not. And they said, well, not today, but you get a court date. And he ended up making his last batch, which that was named that, I guess. And then unfortunately he asphyxiated himself. And that was it. And it was just too bad that
Wow.
that happened. But his cousin was still in that area, and he's made some stills, and I happened to get one.
So that's the
Pretty cool.
the Popcorn Sutton stories. You have a
And I
Popcorn
bought his
Sutton.
1953 Ford. I like tractors too, so I got his
Is
1953
that the one
Ford,
right out here?
Ford Jubilee.
That's crazy.
What?
Yeah,
That's actually pretty
Yeah.
cool. What's your favorite road snack?
road snack,
Yeah,
beef jerky.
that's a good one.
Yeah. Mine's a tomahawk steak.
Yeah,
So
that's a tough one on the road.
I'm going to ask you
You
this.
get that at the 7-Eleven.
Right.
I'm going to ask you this last question, and then we're going to go into one of our last little sections. You've been looking at an RV for a while. You own an RV resort, right? You got a lot of. You've gone to a lot of races. What RV are you going to buy here soon? Because I heard you were going to buy one.
And I really intend to. If you'd asked me 3 or 4 years ago, even though I had time of my life, best memories in the world, I never thought about owning one until Kirk and the fellows that you guys know introduced me to the infield. My aunt and uncle, who I mentioned earlier, that had the Tiffin, they went to every home and away Gator game for decades. They had a couple of different big coaches. And still, I didn't think about it until I went in there. I always stayed outside of the track. Well, once you go in there, it's a complete different environment.
Huge.
And that's what's gotten me looking. So I've looked at old Silver Eagles. I haven't looked. I've been approached about buying. And there's a celebrity bus that's available. And I thought maybe I could put that at Margaritaville and let people enjoy an experience in a celebrity bus when I'm not using it, and then me use it, to go to the races. So then in the last few years, I've had an opportunity again to go out to Talladega, which that's another favorite. I like that track. Bristol, of course, Charlotte. There's not a bad one.
No.
Probably should I say what my least like my least favorite car?
Yeah, say your
least
least
favorite.
favorite.
My
track?
least favorite. And I think I went either the inaugural year or right after, was Indy. And my cousin ran the NAPA
Brickyard. You were at
distribution
the
center.
inauguration, the Brickyard 400?
Yes. And I don't know what I was expecting, but what I was used to at Daytona is sitting high enough to see the track.
Yeah.
And when they built that new glass building on the infield, I moved up. I moved out of Campbell to get into the tower so I could see the whole track. At Indy, there's a set of stands on the inside of the track. So it's like they come through a chute and then you lose them. And the announcer, I was just spoiled with what they had at Daytona. You knew every car name, every number.
Yeah.
but I followed them by names, and they called them by numbers up there. So that was probably the most disappointing.
Okay.
But anyway, all that said, the RV, I started looking, and I've rented pull behind, I've rented fifth wheel,
Yeah.
I've rented.
We got you one for Talladega.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got me the one for Talladega. They've all been nice, but for me, in the different uses, I would like a tag axle coach.
Okay.
And like John said, I want the kitchen on the driver's side, the dinette where it looks over from the RV resort business.
Yep.
I want it where you're looking at
your people.
Outside. You're looking on your entertainment area, not the neighbor.
Yeah.
So I want that.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I'd love to have at least the bath and half, or some of them now are coming out.
So you're
with
looking
two
at
bath.
like an A class that you're gonna.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to our high five moment, guys, where we talk about some good stuff going on in the world and what we got going on. We'd kind of open the podcast episode with talking about America 250 and our Grilling Across America 250 tour. So we do encourage you. We want to highlight, America gives through A250. We think it's a great way. It's a great thing that they're doing. Help America 250 and make 2026 a record-setting year. We want you to volunteer your service because it requires all of us to celebrate America. We love America. We love our veterans. We love what it stands for. But all these celebrations requires a little bit of help, and we want to honor America's 250th anniversary. So we want you to get involved is what we're asking you to do. Go to america250.org/America-gives to get involved. And one of the questions I wanted to ask, I got two questions actually, is do you volunteer?
We do.
Yeah?
Yeah. When I say we,
Yeah?
our team does. There's things like Renee, who's our HR.
Yeah.
She's my sister Peggy's best friend.
Okay.
Has been since 1970, and we all grew up in the Methodist Church in Auburndale, and they do a kids pack, and huge.
Yep.
So that's one, and then we have a charity that we donate to each month through proceeds that come in from we take a certain percentage from our food and beverage and donate.
Yeah, and the reason we kind of highlight that and ask people to get involved is because we're going to be actually celebrating America's 250 celebration with all the, I don't know what I'm saying. There's so many American 250s. So America 250, we're going to be celebrating America's 250th birthday with America 250. So we're going to be out and about actually at a lot of these events. So we'd love to meet you. See you guys out there. That's kind of why we're asking you, or I'm talking about that. Speaking of, is Camp Margaritaville doing anything to celebrate America 250? Have you guys talked about that?
I'm sure we are. I'm not in that. That would be.
I'll put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Beth, Alexa.
Yeah.
We've got a team, that does that.
I know
so
we've briefly talked about it a little bit, and I know that y'all have some celebrations coming up. So.
Yeah. I think with our tour and what we're doing, we will definitely be making our rounds back through Auburndale. So I think we're actually looking to do some things with you guys. So
in this section, our high five moment, we like to highlight a hero of the week. Our hero of the week can be anyone of service. It could be a first responder, a teacher, someone who sacrificed at some point in their life. It could be active duty or even a veteran. And we felt we felt that we should give this to Elvis Presley.
all in.
See?
Because Elvis actually served in the U.S. Army.
Yeah.
If you didn't know that, from 1958 to 1960.
I got to visit Graceland last year.
We did.
Yeah.
Well, we did years ago. Tanya and I. Was it our honeymoon? When did we visit Graceland?
Okay,
Yeah.
summer we got married.
Yeah.
So a couple of fun Elvis facts. He still holds records no one can touch. Did you know that? 18 Billboard's #1 singles. Or Billboard #1 singles. Did you know that?
I knew he held records. I didn't know that exact record.
18.
Yeah. It was everything you could do in a day. You really can't do it in a day.
Yeah.
To see all of the wall of accolades and albums and awards that he's won. And you talk about giving an award, the giving that he did.
Oh, it was
with
crazy.
People.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
150 plus albums and singles on Billboard charts. Best-selling solo artist of all time, over 1 billion records sold worldwide. Did you know that he never performed outside North America?
I did not know that.
Yeah. He was also a black belt in karate.
I knew that.
You did know that?
I did know that. Mm-hmm.
You know why he was nicknamed the King?
No.
Fans started calling him that. I actually, the note in here doesn't say why he's called that.
Right. Yeah.
It says he was nicknamed the King after fans started calling him that.
Now they're calling Trump that. So.
Right.
Oh yeah. Well, certain side is.
Yeah.
His famous gold lame suit. Am I pronouncing that right? Huh? LeMay.
Gold LeMay.
Who gave the dyslexic kid the microphone? His famous gold lame suit was custom made and weighed over 20 pounds. Do you know that?
Yeah, we got to hold one of his capes when we
Did you?
we did the VIP tour.
Of
We thought it was
Graceland?
we thought it was worth doing the VIP.
It
at
says
Graceland.
that he gave away his cars a lot of times.
Oh, he did. He did. He had a housekeeper. He had random people that he'd see on the lot. He bought cars for.
Yeah, he was pretty crazy. Awesome guy.
Yeah.
So we're going to kind of move into our wrap up here, and I got 2 jokes. You ready?
Ready?
You got jokes that you can tell on standby?
I'm trying to think. I heard one the other day that was good, and I don't know that.
All right. So joke number 1, what kind of car did the apostles drive?
I don't think they had cars then.
Oh, yeah, they did.
A Honda,
A Honda?
because the Bible says they were all in one accord.
Okay. Good one. Good one.
This joke refers to verses like Acts 2, verse 1,
No explanation. Move on.
which the King James Version reads, "And when the day of Pentecost was fully come, they were all with one accord in one place." Yep. All right. Joke
Honda.
number 2.
That's Honda. Gotta be.
That failed.
Okay.
Joke 2. Why don't we ever hear about Jesus's personal car?
Why, John Boy?
Because Jesus never spoke with his own accord.
You know the good thing about this podcast?
Yeah.
We have no idea if people on the other end are laughing or not.
Yeah. This joke refers to John 12, verse 49, King James Version. All right. So we did talk about a little bit about service, Dad. You going to read a verse of the week?
Yeah, so
Wait, hang on. I think I might.
You got
I
the
might
joke?
know
Oh,
you got a
enough
joke?
of this joke. It
Okay.
might tie in.
Okay.
There's a boy on the sidewalk. He's on a corner. He's trying to sell a lawnmower. And a preacher comes up on his bicycle. He says, "I'd really like to have that lawnmower." And he says, "What do you want for it?" And the boy said, $25. And he says, "Well, how about, a trade?" And the boy says, "Well, what would you trade?" He said, "Well, this bicycle." He said, "How would you trade?" He said, "Well, I'd trade you even up." So the preacher says, "Well, I think I'll do that." So they trade, and boy rides off, and he's in that area, and the preacher comes back with a lawnmower. He says, "I can't get this thing to start." He said, "Well, I forgot to tell you." He said, "It runs really good," but he said, "You got to cuss at it for all it's worth, and it'll start first time every time." And he said, he says, "Well, I've been a ordained minister for over 25 years." He said, I don't remember how to cuss." He says, "You just pull on that rope and it'll come back to you."
That's good. All right,
Yeah, because
so
we've all cussed it. A chainsaw or...
we're through a couple of verses. Before I read from Galatians 5:13, one of the things that we love about you guys is your faith.
Yeah.
You're not afraid like we
No.
are to share it and talk
No.
about it. And it says in 5:13, "For you, brethren, have been called to liberty. Only do not use liberty as an opportunity for the flesh, but through serve one another. So it's clear through this verse that the Apostle Paul tells us, don't use your freedom to sin, but to serve other people. And you and your family do a great job at serving, and that's what we're actually called to do. So, for what we're doing and with the McLemore Boys, faith is at the top of our core values. So we always like to share a verse of the week.
That's awesome.
Faith, family, food, fun, and freedom is kind of our core values.
That's super cool.
Well, Randy, appreciate you being on the podcast. Did you have fun?
Blast. A blast.
Did you know what to expect?
We're not stopping now, are we?
We don't have to.
No, but we did
this
order
was great.
breakfast.
I'm very honored to have been
It's our honor.
asked to do this.
Well, so this was our first on-the-road location for our Grilling Across America, celebrating America's 250 tour for 2026. So you were absolutely our top candidate. You were the only one that said yes, but you were our top candidate.
That's right.
Good.
Our next one will be in a booth at Denny's. Thank you for letting it be downhill
I
from
don't know
his
if you know,
place.
we're getting we've got a new international restaurant opening right here around the corner. It's called IHOP. I think they're just about over.
It's so bad, it's good.
Good. I echo that.
High five. man.
Great.
Any parting words?
No, it's been great. Thank you.
What would you like to say
Friendship's
to
great.
our fans?
Follow the McLemore Boys barbecuing and podcast. You're missing out if you don't.
Boom.
We appreciate you. We do love you.
Love you too.
Appreciate the friendship and all that you guys have meant.
Yeah.
Your whole family.
I'm the luckiest guy in the world with the
Bro,
family I've got.
We are all so lucky.
Yeah.
And Daytona is going to be amazing, celebrating 49 years in a row.
Yes.
You've been there. So it was a blast to kick off our America 250 tour. So next time you guys tune in, we're actually going to be talking about our 2026 tour. We're going to be on location at our first event for our Grilling Across America for America's 250. So you have to tune in. It's going to be really cool. We're going to be talking about the dates and all the events that we're going to be out seeing you guys at. So we want you to stay tuned for that. We want you to take us out. If you'll say our tagline real nice, almost like you've been smoking cigarettes for about 50 years. Say, from our table to yours, God bless.
From our table to yours, God bless.
We'll see you next time.
Let's go.